much at stake. We look at the top priorities of both parties.
New details emerge about the failed police response at the Uvalde shooting, why responding officers may not have known about 911 calls coming from inside the school.
Plus, in times of emergency, every second counts. A local doctor is making sure our state becomes a model for the country.
All the things that we wanted to be able to do for our patients, now we actually have it at our fingertips.
All right, let's begin with a live look from our Lookout Mountain camera. At 5 o'clock, you can see dark skies rolling across the eastern plains at this hour. Thanks for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Shannon Ogden.
I'm Ann Trujillo, and we begin with Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson and a check of a pretty active radar this evening, Mike.
Indeed, we have severe storms out on the eastern plains. This is what it looked like in Denver this afternoon. Had a couple of periods of some dark skies, and still a few lighter thunderstorms are possible. But most of the big action is out here on the plains. These are both severe thunderstorm watches in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. We have a warning for Morgan County in the Fort Morgan area until 5:30 this afternoon. You can see that storm moving through Fort Morgan by about 5:28 into Brush, Atwood by 5:48. And this is what it looks like right now in Fort Morgan. Let me step out of there. This is our exclusive Viero camera in Fort Morgan. That's a live shot of that storm coming through. There's more storms in the 7-day. I'll have more details in about 15 minutes.
All right, thank you. We are following some breaking news out of southwestern Colorado right now, where there is a fire forcing evacuations on the Southern Ute Reservation near Durango. It's called the Bear Dance Fire, and it is impacting all tribal campus offices as well as the Sky Ute Casino and Resort. At last check, the fire was burning 5 acres. We will continue to check for updates.
We have more breaking news tonight. The Forest Service now has determined the East Troublesome Fire in 2020 was human-caused. Now, previously they thought that could be a possibility. That fire, you recall, destroyed more than 350 homes. Investigators now are trying to find the person responsible and say this may have been an accident.
Colorado's primary is quickly approaching. Republicans are trying to drum up support at their annual Western Conservative Summit in Aurora.
People all over the country fly in for this event. Denver 7 political reporter Megan Lopez is live there. And Megan, the big event this afternoon was a forum with U.S. Senate candidates.
That's right. State Representative Ron Hanks and businessman Joe O'Dea both had a chance to address the crowd today to give their sales pitch. And what they're both running for in the primary is a chance to go ahead and take on U.S. Senator Michael Bennet. His seat is considered to be vulnerable. Before either one of them has that chance, though, they both have to make their cases again to the crowd, and they really have to decide, voters anyway, have to decide the direction that the party is going. At the Western Conservative Summit Friday, a who's who of Colorado Republican voices, a chance for candidates to make one last sales pitch to voters before primary ballots begin to go out. This midterm election, once again, there's a lot at stake, from inflation to abortion access to the gun debate.
If Colorado's Senate election is a referendum on Joe Biden's America, we will win.
But before the general election, a referendum within the Republican Party that's highlighted in 2 candidates running for U.S. Senate. On one end, Representative Ron Hanks.
We are at a crossroads.
A candidate who spent much of the run-up to the midterms talking about election integrity and questioning the 2020 results. Something.
Is the country on the right track? No. No, Biden has been a disaster.
He didn't address at all at the summit, instead focusing his talking points on border security, banning abortions, and dismantling the Department of Education.
Are we the party of life and liberty? I believe we are.
On the other end of the spectrum, Joe O'Dea, a more moderate candidate who doesn't believe the election was stolen.
I may be an outsider, but I'm a conservative at the core.
He focused on national issues like inflation and the role of government during his speech. But on the gun debate, he repeated something Republicans like Lauren Boebert have said repeatedly.
We have hundreds of laws on the books about guns, but you can't legislate against evil.
Conservatives who attended tell Denver 7 they're focused on major national issues.
Energy independence.
National security, I think, is one of the main concerns.
Freedom for parental rights.
But they also admit election integrity will inevitably play a role in the primary, as will overall electability of candidates in the general election.
Can't keep complaining. We have to be more active. We have to participate.
It comes down to the same. It's like, who is going to be standing on the principles that protect my freedom?
There is an ideology in their minds that they don't want to have rhino initiatives.
So the midterms could be a referendum on the president, but the primary will define the direction of the Colorado Republican Party. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
And Colorado's primary is June 28th. And starting next week, Colorado clerks will start mailing out your primary ballots. Along with it, you will likely get a text from a service called Ballot Tracks. It allows you to sign up to receive text alerts at each stage of the voting process so you can track your ballot all the way to it being verified. And today was the deadline for states to apply for an earlier primary spot. Colorado Democrats want an earlier primary date to make a name for our state in the 2024 primary process. The DNC will decide by July 8th. Republicans have decided to keep the calendar the same for the 2024 primary.
A mishap in the ballot printing process in Pueblo County. The county clerk's office there caught the mistake, though, before the ballots went out. The clerk's office says one county commissioner's race just didn't appear on the ballot that it was supposed to. And fixing this issue is going to cost the county between $12,000 and $13,000.
A Texas state senator has shared new information about the police response to the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas last week. State Senator Roland Gutierrez says the Uvalde School District police chief did not have a police radio on him during the shooting. Gutierrez says Chief Pete Arredondo was not in communication with anyone while responding. Now, it is still unclear if officers knew about the 911 calls that were being made by students inside Robb Elementary.
The man who murdered Rita Gutierrez Garcia 4 years ago in Longmont has been sentenced to 48 years in prison. She went missing back in 2018. Her remains found just last month. Juan Figueroa pleaded guilty in court today. Today's sentence is consecutive to the 93 to life he is already serving.
Seconds count in any medical emergency, and when you're having a stroke, getting the right care at the right moment is critical for a full recovery. And now, one Colorado doctor is helping lead the nation in making sure stroke patients get the proper care quickly.
Patrice Thomas remembers the exact moment her stroke started.
I was literally typing to my daughter on chat, and I suddenly couldn't type the word T-O-O.
Frustrated, Patrice decided to go to the kitchen just 3 stairs up.
And I found myself sitting on the bottom step, kind of frozen. I was like, oh, what is going on?
Unable to yell, she whistled to get her husband's attention.
I told him I'm having a stroke, and he said, how do you know? I said, I'm having a stroke. It's not my heart.
The couple rushed to the Swedish Southwest ER in Littleton, and within minutes, she was put on a helicopter to the main Swedish campus in Inglewood.
I literally was off the helicopter and into surgery within 8 minutes at Swedish Main.
Any delay in care could lead to a worse outcome.
Dr. Don Fry is the director of neurointerventional surgery at Swedish Medical Center. He says when a patient has a large vessel occlusion, where an artery in the brain is blocked, every second counts.
That type of treatment requires thrombectomy, which is someone like me putting a catheter up into the brain artery and pulling the clot out.
But knowing which hospitals offer which kind of care can be difficult in an emergency. That's why Dr. Fry helped write new national guidelines for first responders.
If someone has major trauma, EMS knows to bring that person to a level 1 trauma center. If they have a severe stroke, they need to bring that patient to a level 1 stroke center like Swedish. But that's not in the EMS guidelines until now.
He even helped develop a new app to help guide those decisions.
These are different scales that can not only identify a stroke, but can differentiate a severe stroke from a mild stroke.
Anytime we can get something electronic, it's wonderful because it's in everybody's pocket, right? We've got it right here.
Jordan Orada is the EMS director at Swedish Medical Center.
And it got really confusing for a while as we started to have comprehensive stroke centers, primary stroke centers, comprehensive capable stroke centers.
And he says this new app helps his team make critical decisions faster.
All the things that we wanted to be able to do for our patients, now we actually have it at our fingertips.
I think I'll make a pretty whole recovery.
Patrice says she needs some occupational therapy for her right hand, but otherwise believes she's made a full recovery. And she credits it all to the swift decisions that got her to the right medical team fast.
I have this much recovery because not only were they in there quickly, they knew exactly what to do, and they were precise and amazing.
Ann Trujillo, Denver 7.
They've been proud to share their love for the past 8 years.
I said to Fran on our 3rd date, I said, you're my beshert, you're my destiny.
And now with the fate of Roe v. Wade hanging in the balance, this couple is worried their rights could be taken away next.
It's just another stressor, but you have to keep at it.
Plus, the job market is thriving, but inflation isn't slowing down. We look at how you are being impacted.